Testing, testing. Fuck. Fuck. Testing. Fuck. 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 Alright. I think we're good. Shit. Shit. Aw, shit. What is up, YouTubes? I am Brandon, aka Broken Ocean, and welcome to Studio Time. Fucking, I don't know, 9,999. Be teaching you how to do some riddems and stuff. Not just kidding, but maybe we could do rhythm. I don't know. But yeah, got a lot of cool stuff for you. Before we get started, though, make sure you subscribe. Hit that. It's like the red button, and it like says subscribe next to it. If you hit that, it'll like, you know, it'll enroll you in my channel. Got to try to get some followers, some followers. Follow. Yeah, and then also make sure you download. I don't know, I'm just gonna leave them up, I guess. I was gonna take them down soon, but I got a bunch of free packs. One of them is a bunch of SERUM wavetables that I created along with SERUM presets, and there's an old sample pack that is available to download for free in the description below somewhere. Make sure you check that out, because it's not going to be up forever. But anyways, so I've been working on a ton of new projects, and you know, I decided to, you know, broaden my horizons a little bit and branch out, you know, maybe experiment with a little different genres, styles, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And I came up with this track right here. It's kind of like a drum and bass track. It is drum and bass, kind of like it. It's got like a different fucking what do you call it, structure. You know, there's only like one drop, but it's like very long. Like I guess it'd be like, well, I think it'd be more than 16 bars technically. Yeah, because I think, yeah, this would be 16. So yeah, it's a 32 bar drop, which is pretty cool. Actually, it's more than 32, because I think this first part would be 32 right here. 32 measures, 32 bars. I don't fucking. But yeah, it's a decent drop. But I will play for you, and I still got a ton of work to do on it. But the structure and the basis, you know, base of the track is basically done. So I'm just gonna start it. Well, I'll play from the beginning and give you a whole taste, full taste of it.
Switch it.
Yeah, so that's it. That's what I got so far. Like I said, it needs a ton of work. And what happened was, essentially I started fucking my phone. All right. So, anyways, yeah, I started with this drop. Yeah. All right, I don't know what the fuck that was. Really? All right. It's this fucking thing right here. I know it. It's from the OTT. It's really causing feedbacks. Them feedbacks. So I gotta turn this off now. This is freaking annoying. What the freak? What the? So anyways, make sure it still works. Yeah, fuck. I don't know which one is doing it. This is... Oh, I guess we could just look at the meters right over here. Huh. It's all 4 of these. Oh, it's that one. There we go. Alright, so anyways. So yeah, I had this first drop here, and originally how it went, you know, it was just like a normal build. And by the way, I gotta fix the build because it's very light. But yeah, so I had this drop, and then I don't even know how it came up, but I was gonna like just, you know, make a break after this first part of the drop here, and then this was gonna be the second drop. But it almost like, I don't know, it was just too different. So essentially, I just decided to clash them together and, you know, throw that curveball in there. So everyone's kind of like, you know, all right, the first drop's decent, and then all of a sudden it's just bam, right in the face. And I think, I personally, like, I'm pretty hyped about this so far. Like, I think that second part is very, like, I'm fucking loving it so far. It's just so heavy. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. I normally don't, you know, this is like my first like real drum and bass kind of track. I guess you could kind of, it's like kind of a little bro steppy. I don't really fucking know. I don't really classify it as like a specific genre, you know, because it does have a mixture of different like elements from different genres and shit. So I try not to like classify it, I guess. But I mean, it is kind of drum and bassy, you know. It's you got that 172 BPM. I actually had it at 177. Which was good, but it was like almost like a little too fast, so I turned it down a little bit. But yeah, it's actually a very like simplistic track right here. I basically got this drop lead track. I don't know why I named it that, but essentially I have just like a fucking sawtooth, a detuned saw, right here with SERUM, playing this. And then, by the way, I have LFO tool, which I'm modulating. So essentially, I got LFO tool on this whole group right here, and I'm modulating the LFO frequency or the rate, and then yeah, that affects all of these sounds in this group right here. But yeah, so basically, it's just. So it's basically just a, you know, like I said, a saw wave, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I can't speak. It's very early. Yeah, it's like a detuned saw, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then this filthy patch right here, which I actually use like, this is like 5 different times at least. And then I got this macro right here, the knob. Let's open this badge up. So yeah, this is actually some FMing, some frequency modulation here, just the evil long grease. Lawn grease or long reese. I don't know. I know it's long reese, but yeah, it's just a sawtooth wave, frequency modulating evil long reese. Just got this simple triangle wave here, and I got this knob which actually controls the amount of frequency modulation along with let's see here, I believe I got it on, yep, the cutoff of this high notch filter and the frequency. So basically you can get this effect with it. And if I were to just do this, you can see yeah, so you could do some cool stuff with it. And then yeah, basically I just got this on I think I change it up a little bit per per time, but yeah, basically that's all it's doing. It's just kind of building up a little bit. Just creates more movement. And then essentially I have this duplicated. So on the first, so essentially on the first and the third measure, whatever you want to call it, we got that one, this whole combo right here. And then I duplicated both of those tracks. Let's do this first. Now this is actually pretty much the same sawtooth wave, except I actually raised the octave up one, and I changed the pitch I changed the semitone. So basically the first one is, I think it's like detune 4 semitones, and then the second one is detune 7 semitones. I'm sorry, I worded that wrong. Yeah, so 4 and then 7. And then same thing with the patch right here. It's basically the same patch, but I detuned it 7 semitones just to give it, that variation. And then I also changed the automation for the LFO tool rate. Make it not sound so boring. So yeah, that's basically it for that. And then yeah, I just got a bunch of random patches here. So, nothing too crazy. And that's like basically like the response, I guess you could call it. And then in the second half of the drop, I duplicated it and changed it up a bit. So these are both the same patches, but I changed the timbre and I detuned it a little bit more. Excuse me. So yeah, this is detuned 4 semitones, which gives it that, overtone. Which sounds freaking filthy. And then I just got this simple growl. Real short and quick. And then that's really it. And then, yeah, I duplicated that and made one a little bit longer. And then, yeah, just a bunch of filler and stuff. I got some Reese basses here. Not Reese, well, like neuro, I guess you'd call it like a neuro bass. I don't know. I don't fucking know. With the LFO tool on there as well, OTT. And I got this duplicated like 4 different times because I have 4 different like LFO rates. And I guess variations. And this is actually, let's see, this is that DB bass again, which I, duplicated. This is like the main bass, but then I duplicated it, switched it up a bit, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then in the second part, this is pretty cool. I didn't even like plan for this to sound the way it did. I was just kind of screwing around, and this is kind of like, I guess it's like a Riddems, fucking Riddems, a Riddems style bass. I was just like fucking around, so I threw that in there, and I don't know, I think I wanted to try this other bass or something, I don't fucking know. And basically the two played together and it was just like magical. get them distorted, filthy, grimy, you know, overtones or harmonics, whatever the fuck you want to call it, from this patch right here. And then you just got that, you know, that rhythmness from the second patch.
Come on.
Yeah. It's very simple. And then I just added these neuro basses here, respace, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just as some filler to switch it up a little bit. And I was gonna go through and I was gonna make some more variation, you know, kind of cut this main part up a little bit. But I don't know, I just like it because it's very heavy and straightforward, and you know, I didn't want to mess it up too much, make it too complicated. But
Switch it.
yeah, that's my voice too. Sweet, it's crazy. That's my voice.
Switch it.
So I got that, and then some more variation here. Again, mainly what I did, I just duplicated this patch and detuned it a little bit. This one's actually up 2 octaves. I feel like this dips down too low. I guess it's alright. I'll leave it. I'm not gonna fuck with it. But yeah, so that's basically it. You know, just changing the pitch, you know, really does a lot, especially when you're using frequency modulation. You know, changing the pitch of the second oscillator, or first, whatever, it doesn't even matter. It really changes the sound, but it keeps the, you know, obviously it keeps the fundamentals, you know, intact. And then I went down to 1 octave, 4 semitones. So this one was 2, and then I brought it down 8 semitones. And that is basically that's basically it. Another thing too, I got this sidechain hat here, and before you guys freak out, these are actually my samples here these samples and loops that I created myself. And what I do, it doesn't matter the style. A little tip for you guys: to make your hi-hats sound better, sidechain them with the kick. I mean, you don't have to sidechain with the kick, sidechain them. I would definitely do it with the kick. You can do it with kick and snare. But you can kind of hear, let me play these for you. You know, it kind of just, it makes it a little more interesting, and, you know, it switches, I don't want to say it switches the pattern, but it just, you know, it gives it more, I don't want to say depth, but it gives it more substance, kind of, you know, brings it to life. Just creates more movement, that's basically it, you know. And then, yeah, like I said, these are both just random loops from one of my packs, one of my sample, well, my personal library. You could just, you know, when it dips out, it just, again, you know, just makes that movement, it just makes it sound a lot better. And then basically when I, you know, switched to like the drum and bass beat, the, you know, the up tempo, faster tempo drum pattern, I got both of these layered. And you know, this second one right here, actually technically the first one, but the second one, I have it a little bit quieter than the first one, just because, you know, I didn't want them colliding with each other. So, you know, like I said, when you put them together, they just have, you know, they work well.
Switch it.
Yeah, that gets me so pumped up. Oh, and then in this patch, this is actually, it's weird because I never thought I would use this patch just because when I created it, it didn't sound, I didn't really like it. It was very messy. But it just, with the little OTT, I think, do I have sausage fat? No, just OTT. A little OTT, a little bit of tweaking, it actually worked pretty well. Sounds pretty cool. I really like that. It's just real heavy and just, yeah. And I got that on triplets too, so yeah, and that's basically it. So I'm not gonna spend too much time going into crazy detail.
Fire! Switch it. Come on.
Why these shorts are like fucking pissing me off. But yeah, so that's that. I was gonna do some work on this, but I think I'm gonna make a new drop. Save this shit. Let's see what we can come up with here on the fly. You know, I don't know how many people are even watching this, or if there is anybody watching this, but if there is, if you guys have any questions, as always, or any requests for videos, or comments, or concerns, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I don't know why, I'm not creative with names at all, so, you know, I have a hard, I don't want to, you know, I don't know. Let's just shut up and get into this. Let's do this. Let's start a new patch. But yeah, so I'm gonna, you know, I love drum and bass, honestly, and I've like dabbled with, you know, a little bit of it in the past, you know, working on, I have so many projects of just different styles and genres and different experiments and shit. And I dabbled with drum and bass a little bit, you know, in the past, but I never really, like, I don't know. I guess maybe because I just didn't have the right sounds, or maybe, I don't know. I guess I was so focused on just making, like, trying to make good dubstep and stuff, you know. But, you know, I've been working on a lot of sound design recently, and I just, you know, created some new sounds and shit that just really worked. Let's see if we can make... I kind of want to make, fuck. Start at 160. Let's see if we can make a nice little drop here. Little drip. So here's the little thing. I used to use drum racks all the time, and you know, they are very, very, very useful, and they're efficient. And obviously, using whatever's efficient is gonna be, you know, it's gonna help you, you know. But the thing I noticed with like the drum rack is that, you know, you have to tweak it when you drag a sample in. It automatically turns the gain down like -12 dB, and I think there's a fade at the beginning as well, so you lose some of the sound basically of the sample. So you have to make sure you know, tweak it, and obviously the velocity is gonna play a huge role too. So I've been actually using just fucking, you know, audio samples dragged onto the timeline, and I used to hate it because it was too time consuming, but you're getting the full, you know, the sample is what it is, you know, you're not losing any, you know, power in your kicks or your snares, you know, and it's straightforward, it is what it is, and then you can tweak it, and I think it works a lot better. So you know, using drum racks for hi-hats, I don't mind doing that because hi-hats are very, you know, tedious. But yeah, you know, audio, it seems to be the way. I love working with audio, honestly. I used to hate it, but I love it, you know. And yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, before I even got into like dubstep and producing, you know, I started drumming, you know, at a very young age, and I played in a bunch of like metal bands, and we played shows and shit, and tried to record some stuff, you know, and that's kind of what originally got me into like recording was, you know, obviously recording, you know, my band, basically trying to, and so everything was like all audio. I didn't know anything about MIDI, you know, so originally I was like that, you know, and then I found out about MIDI, and I'm like, oh, this is so much more convenient. And then you kind of just, you know, I don't know, audio's the way to go. I love this kick. I don't know what it is, but I love it. Another thing too, that I've been doing a lot, or I've always done this kind of, but as you can see here, so we got this wave, this kick sample, and you can see that the peaks, I mean, this is basically peaking, or clipping, I'm sorry. You know, the peaks are very, very high, and I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but just that one sample alone, just put it in perspective. So we just got one kick sample, nothing else. It's peaking at negative 0.1, or 0.01, I'm sorry. So now, and that's just one kick sample. So if I were to leave this kick sample at that volume and add some shit on top of it, it's only going to go up from there. You know, if I layer 2 kick samples, it don't matter. Let's just throw this one in here. So this one also, you can see it's, you know, peaking, or, well, I don't know why I keep saying peaking. But yeah, the levels, you know, of the actual waveform are very high. And look at that, just adding one more sample on top of that. Now we're clipping, you know, we're at about plus 6 dB. So that's horrible. Obviously, you know, you can turn the tracks down, but here's the secret. So we turn this down. Let's just say negative 5 dB. Like it helped, but we're still peaking, and it's very muddy. And yeah, sure, I can turn this track down, but at the source, at the sample, this level is not changing at all. So you're essentially, what you're doing when you turn down the track volume, you are essentially just making an almost clipping signal just a little quieter. So what I always do is, you know, yeah, the track gain is very good for certain things, but only if the signal or the source is at a proper gain. So to give you an example, what I always do now, negative 6 is not the answer, but I'll start at like maybe negative 3, negative 6. If you do it in increments of like 3, I think it's like the most audible to the human ear, so that's just something I always do. I try to do it in increments of 3, just a habit. But basically, you can see negative 6, you know, brought the levels down. And now I like to visually, you know, just kind of, you know, you got all this space up here, which technically would be your headroom. So now you're creating so much more space. And now with this just one sample, we're peaking at negative 6, which is fantastic. So now if we wanted to throw this other one on here, we'll turn that down too. Now, these kicks aren't really great together, but it's just an example. This one's a little too aggressive, honestly. I don't know what happened to... Perfect. So this is a very, you know, very loud kick. We'll turn that down. Let's create a fade here. Just use the transient. Again, this is just an example, but now we're still under. And now, since you have all of this room here, you know, you can turn the tracks down if you want. Or what I would normally do, honestly, is just turn it down over here more. So like negative 9, both of them. So, yeah, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. You know, essentially my point is, and I've mentioned it before, turn your tracks down at the source. So if you got an instance of SERUM, you know, instead of turning down the track volume first, turn down the master volume in the SERUM, because chances are, you know, you're probably clipping. Like, it makes sense. Like, if you have this master cranked up all the way, obviously it's going to clip inside your plugin here. You can turn this down, you know, well, not infinite, but you can turn it down 20 dB, but you're still clipping in SERUM. So it's really not going to do you any good. So, yeah. That's just my input, that's my opinion. But yeah, let's make a beat. I actually kind of like these two together. So we'll use them. Let's do it. Let's do it. Wow. Yeah, audio, you know, like I said, this is a little time consuming, but audio is so much more consistent. You know, and it's just, I personally think it's easier to work with. Um, you know, every time you hit a different MIDI note, you're going to get, you know, there's always so many variations and so many variables, I should say. You know, the velocity, you know, the phase cycle, you know, the position of the phase cycle, you know, there's a lot of things. Let's get rid of these real quick just so we can have a clean slate here. This is my all-time, I love this virtual riot snare, and you know, I know a lot of people, oh, you're using, you know, virtual riot snares, but you know, fuck it, they're there for a reason, you know, and you know, drum samples, you know, although I do make my own drum samples sometimes, you know, finding really good, you know, kick and snare samples, sometimes it's hard, you know, and you know, making them is tedious, so I like to usually layer like a couple kicks and a couple snares, which I'll show you in just a moment. But I'll start with this. Super OCD about coloring everything and labeling everything and grouping everything. It helps in the end. I can't stand seeing projects that are all just like all over the place, you know. They all just, you know, no labels, no groups, like it's just annoying. Drives me crazy. So, alright, let's see here. Do something like that. Probably honestly just end up using a couple virtual riot snares. This one sounds good, possibly. But we wanna do this. I was wondering, that didn't sound right. I think that's pretty good. It sounds decent. I'm actually gonna switch up this kick pattern a little bit. I'm just gonna make it a little more straightforward for now. I'll just do that just for now. And then here's another little trick for side chaining. I never use compression anymore. I just don't. I use LFO tool, and basically, you know, since it's volume automation, it doesn't, you know, hurt the dynamics of your sound. And it's literally all it's doing is just dipping the volume down, so it's a lot cleaner, a lot more consistent. And the way I usually set this up, so I create a MIDI track within my kick group, and then literally all you have to do, so label this sidechain kick trigger. I usually like color it white just so it like sticks out, and so I can see it visibly. And then I'll label this just so I know. And then essentially what you do, you go to your instruments, and then you're going to want to take an external instrument right here, and we're going to throw this on the sidechain kick trigger. And right now we don't have LFO tool set up, so nothing's going to show up. But let's go ahead and what you're going to essentially do is just, you know, it doesn't matter what the actual note is, it just, you know, essentially it just needs to be triggered. So, you know, the higher the note or lower the note, it's not going to make a difference. So essentially we're just going to make MIDI notes to match up with our kick pattern. And do something like that. And yeah, so now that's all set to go. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get some hi-hats. I usually just end up using loops from my packs here just because I'm lazy. What is going on? What is, that was weird. I must accidentally hit something to change it. That'll work for now. So we can just go ahead and throw this in there, see how it sounds. Chop it up a little bit. I think that'll work for now. And then here's a little trick that I use that I mentioned before. So let me just group this. We'll label this hi-hats. And, you know, I'll just throw this here for now. Honestly, I might even keep it. You know, like I said, this is actually something, you know, I'll you know, have sessions where literally all I will do is just make loops and, you know, different samples and just, you know, manipulate, you know, sounds and samples and presets and everything, and then just save them. So then basically in times like this, you know, I drag and drop and we're good to go. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna throw an LFO tool onto the hi-hat because I love sidechaining my my hi-hats with my kicks and snares. Mainly kicks, but you can do it with the snares too. So, alright, what we're going to take the LFO tool, drag it on the hi-hat group, and then what we're going to do, we're gonna go to note retrigger. Click this a couple times so it says, I think it says BW. I can't really see that. Oh no, it says ENV. I don't know. I can't fucking see that. I really can't. Yeah, it must be ENV. All right, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the shape in a second. So now that we got that set up, we can go to our kick, go to our sidechain track, and then if you go to MIDI 2, it'll automatically choose hi-hats and knows to route it to LFO tool. So basically every time this MIDI note is triggered, it will trigger the sidechain. See it working right here. Oh. Wow. And then literally we just wanted to dip out for a second. Actually, I'm gonna do probably something like this even. And then you can tell, so here's the before and after. So this is without the side chaining on the hi-hat. Sounds alright, but here's with the side chain. I think it sounds a lot better, and then all together. Yeah, so that's not bad. And then another thing I actually forgot to do, if you go to your sidechain trigger track, so since each external instrument can only send, you know, MIDI to one channel, group this. And then let's see. And then duplicate this. And this will be for something else, obviously. So yeah, that way basically if you, well, we'll delete this. But that way we can use this trigger, you know, for our bass line for anything. Something like that, and then we do this. And that will be my drums group. I actually don't like this little fill at the end here, so I'm gonna get rid of it. I think it sounds alright for now. We'll turn this down just a little bit. Alright, let's drag some serums in here. I don't know why. Every time I open up Serum, it like the mouse change. I feel like it like affects the the mouse like goes through the plugin. I feel and it like I don't know. Oh no. Gotta find a better wavetable. You could even do this if you hold Alt, copy, and drag. It'll copy the LFO over. And the reason I don't want to use this one for the volume is because this one's lower. And I want it to be like consistent. That way if you map a macro, to the rate, at least you can kind of keep them the same. Nah. We'll get a filter on here. Oh, let's use a high notch. This will give us some more movement. I don't even know if this sound's gonna turn out alright, but we'll see. Kind of a little different than I wanted, but... Throw some chorus on there, maybe. Throw some EQ in there. We'll use 2 notches, give it more movement. Now it's starting to come together. There's something. Almost feel like it's too like MIDI, like. It might be alright. We'll see what happens. Let's throw... It's not really kind of what I wanted, but... I don't know. I don't know. That's too long. Bow, wow, 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 bow, bow, whoa, whoa. A little bit of OTT. There we go. Let's leave it at 0, that's fine. So now we can throw, we'll get this set up here, throw the LFO tool on here, note retrigger, and then we'll go over to our kick group, do this, duplicate this chain, and then this will be baseline, and then you just choose that, and then you're good to go. Another SERUM. Let's see, we'll use some... see if we can make something cool out of this. Maybe if we do it the other way. Sounds weird. Let's see if maybe we crank it up a little bit. I don't even know. This is strange. I guess it could be a start, like that pattern is kind of maybe what we're gonna do. I don't know. Let's try to switch this up a little bit here. Maybe try a different patch every other. Oh man, I don't know. I kind of like this one a lot more. It's like a little more powerful. Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna save this patch. I'm not gonna use it right now, but I'm gonna save it because that might be good for something. Might be. What do I keep doing? I don't really know. So we'll delete that. Maybe we could do that. That might sound pretty cool. We duplicated this. And the second one will be up 5 semitones. Not bad. It's a good start. We'll do this. This is essentially how I like write my drops. I just kind of like, you start simple and then you just delete stuff, duplicate stuff, change stuff. It's a good start, I think. Shit, what time is it? Damn, I've been doing this for a minute. Alright. Throw some OTT on this. I want to boost that low end a little bit. Dun, 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 bow, bow. Switch this up a bit. No, that ain't gonna work. Try it again. Something will work. Ooh. That sounds cool. Actually, maybe if we did do this. That sounds pretty sweet, I think. Maybe if that's like the last one. Wow, wow. Delete this one. That actually might work. My go-to. And for the second half, we can make some variation. Now we need that neuro. If I could find it. Forgot what pack it was in. I'm so organized but unorganized. Because although I do have everything here, there we go. It's gonna be loud. My pitch bend. Why does it do this? Maybe something like that. It's actually pretty decent. It's not bad. We are clipping extremely bad, so what I normally do, you know, just to kind of give it not like a mix down, but just to give it like a quick, you know, I'll turn everything down like -12 dB. And then, yeah, I got all this stuff ready to go. It's a compressor and a limiter. It's just to give it like a super quick, you know, just, now we're good. Wonder how it would sound slower. There goes the feedback. I feel like that's almost too slow. I wonder if we can even duplicate this. I'm gonna try something here. Make like a layer for this, kind of like I did in that other track, but it'll be different. Let's see. Because this controls the frequency modulation. If we do this, it'll fuck it up. Oh, no frequency modulation. Maybe a little frequency modulation. I don't know. Actually, that's not bad. I actually kind of like that sound. I mean, it's... I kind of wanted it to be... Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. Got scared. Might not be that bad. But we gotta turn this way down because we only want it just ever so slightly. Mess something up. What the fuck just happened? I think, alright. I don't know, I kind of like that. I feel like I can make that into something. I don't know. But I'm actually gonna quit the stream. Then I realized what time it was. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone even tuned in, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'll be probably streaming later. But I didn't even realize I had this thing right in the middle of the screen. I mean, I kind of did, but shit, yeah, I wasn't really even paying attention. Hopefully I didn't fuck anything up. Hopefully you guys were able to see that. Shit. Yeah, I didn't even realize that, but oh well. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you get this free packs before I take them down. But again, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, comments, questions, requests for videos. Let me know. See you guys next time.